All right. So now I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do a Facebook slash Meta conversions API tool for any website, Squarespace, Shopify, etc. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's see how it's gonna go. All right, so I'm gonna fire up the cursor composer, tell it what are the plans. I'm gonna ask it some questions mainly about the API key and the authentication. Explain my plan and explain that we're gonna go with render and Node.js unless there's a better solution like Netlify Edge Function or Cloudflare Workers, I think they're called. I think they may be more kind of quicker, cheaper, instant, but let's see. And then I'm gonna go with the smartest chat AI version just for this planning phase. All right, so let's see what it gets. All right, so it's recommending Cloudflare Workers, which I have used, but I actually don't have much experience, so I'm going to ask a really stupid question about how can I edit? Can I edit the Cloudflare Workers here? And yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. All right, let's create an access token. I'm not gonna show you this, but basically I'm just in uh, the Meta Business Manager here under Events Manager and Data Sources. So I'm just gonna use one of these pixels. So, all right, so I now got the API code. So let's see if we can get the Facebook Conversions API. I want to test directly from Cloudflare first. So let's see. All right. So I want separate variables here. All right. So this is looking good. So I'm gonna try this out, and I expect this to fail. So, all right. Who would have thought? It looked like we are up and running. This is pretty crazy. I think this highlights more than anything else the new era we are in. I have very deep understanding of web development, analytics, things like this, web design, especially conversion tracking, digital marketing. But I'm not this sort of programmer. So without these AI tools, something like this would have taken me much longer, and I probably would have kind of collaborated or outsourced sourced most of the development. So let's continue. So here I'm gonna show you everything except the API key. So above here, before I scroll, the lines 1, 2, 4 are basically just the API key and the pixel code. All right, so this is what we are now working with. And yeah, looks like we are getting events. All right, interesting. So I do a lot of iframe conversion tracking, a lot of acuity scheduling. So the schedule event I just changed from the page view to schedule. So this is interesting. All right, so now I'm attempting to actually make it work from the website. So no way. It looks like it's actually working, which is pretty crazy. So here, let's see. Let's go to a weird page like weird. Like this one. And then attempt to send. So we're sending, response is looking good. And let's see if we can now get the page views up and running. Yes. Okay, this is pretty crazy. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get the console logging. These are new tools. So this is the crazy AI era where you're using tools you would normally get to know for days, weeks, or something like that. All right, let's try this again. Extra weird in the URL. Event being sent. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the console logging, I'm not sure. I think it's, yeah. I'm not understanding this, or I kind of understand, but yeah, I don't fully get how to get these logs in real time. All right. Getting some good ideas. So we probably want this filter. We probably want a status endpoint. We want some sort of error handling. We want to know if there are errors so we can fix them. Not sure if I should have a webhook, an email, or just populate a database or something with the with each event. So I'm gonna move the pixel ID to the front end to make this kind of more reusable. Of course, the API key will have to be on the server side, but maybe we can even do a mapping of pixel IDs to API keys, and that way have just one tool for multiple clients to make it easy to maintain. So if there's like a bug, an error, you can fix, or I can fix this one thing, and it would be updated to, I don't know, 10 or 100 different clients. I think that's the plan. Yeah, now gonna work with the deduplication where we create the event IDs. These must be the same with the pixel and the conversions API. So if we send a page view, we want the same event ID for both, so Meta will know that we are talking about the same page view, just different routes. All right. Okay. Here. Okay, so this is looking good. We want the pixel on the front end. Okay, this looks a little complex, but I think that's okay. Pixel. Yeah. We don't actually necessarily want to combine these. We want to do like a Google Tag Manager thing later on, so I'll have to figure out the logic. I think it's something like, I think ideally we have a function that's going to generate the custom ID. I think that's the first one. And this is going to fire a data layer event probably, which I can use as a trigger for the Facebook pixel as well as the conversion API, which I think is going to be a custom HTML tag in Google Tag Manager. All right, working pretty good. Gonna go with some front end updates. So let's have a part where we kind of make a function. So we can just send any event, make a function. I think we already have one. I don't know JavaScript. Can we use a function as an argument, or maybe, yeah. Actually, no. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I got it. So we want it like this. We can specify an event ID, like for a conversion, Typeform, Acuity, Scheduling, Shopify, wherever. We always have a unique ID for the purchase or conversion or booking or whatever. So we can specify it, but if it's not specified, like for a page view, it's gonna use this generate event ID function. So let's see how does this go. All right, so making progress still. We got the deduplication going on. So or is it I or someone else, like an AI Claude here doing the work? Who knows? So sending a schedule event for those Acuity conversions with a specific ID for testing. So we have our functions to send conversions API event, so we can wrap these for kind of a nicer syntax. I'm not sure what's the end result gonna be in Google Tag Manager. We want to have templates and probably like a simple function like this where we can just have the ID here and then fire as a custom HTML. I think that's gonna be the way to go. All right, so that seemed to work. So we're now moving the test code to the front end. So that way we can just, edit this wherever. Maybe we will make a variable in Google Tag Manager or just keep this in line. It may even be easier. And that way we can easily change it because we will need to get rid of this for production. But whenever we gotta go and debug stuff again here, this test code for whatever reason keeps changing, so we need to update it. So I think it's easier to do on the front end. So you could theoretically not even have to open this for some basic debugging or testing. Yeah, alright, so I'm now doing this mapping object and I also revealed my API key. No worries, I'm gonna destroy it after I record the video. So the idea I think is gonna be that we can have different clients all on the same file. So each client has their unique Meta pixel ID. So whenever we hear from that, we know which conversion API we'll be sending it to, and it's always going to have the same API key. I think it's going to work. Yeah. All right, so this is starting to look pretty cool because now we are starting to have our pixel and our conversions API with deduplication. So for example, Acuity scheduling appointment. I already have a system running, but I haven't custom coded it in this way. I'm kind of using, up until now, I have used a combination of custom coding JavaScript and then some like low code, no code tools, mainly just to get the conversion events. But this is pretty cool because this is going to be so reusable and much cheaper in terms of how much I pay for each event. All right, this was really interesting. I'm actually probably gonna be using this once I clean this up and test it out and make sure that it's working. I also added a window scoped event ID, which is gonna be updated whenever we send events. And the idea is that we could be using this in Google Tag Manager. So maybe we could create a variable which would be a JavaScript variable, which would be meta event ID, something like this. So here we could make a nice and clean Google Tag Manager setup where, well, I'll have to think about this. This would break if there are multiple events being sent at the same time, But if we get like a nice page view first, and then a second event, a third event where this is first updated for the event, and then it's being fired right after the event meta event ID is specified, and it's gonna trigger this triggering Google Tag Manager. I think that could work in 99% of the cases. Cool. So for the end of the video, I'm gonna destroy the access token. This was interesting. I'll probably share this on YouTube. Just probably 10 people will watch it, but for those 10 people, it's gonna be super interesting niche content. All right, thanks for watching. If you need help with your conversion tracking and the